Well, then you take the drop.
No, no, I wouldn't take the drop. I would sing very quietly. It would be just you and me.
I don't think I would like that.
No one. What did she say?
She says, I don't think I would like that.
All right. If you wouldn't like that, then I won't. But everything will be fine.
And then she kind of looks around again, and she goes over to a basket in the corner of the room. She reaches in and pulls something out of it, and she's concealing it wrapped up in her apron. And she walks back, and she hands it to you, and it's a hard biscuit. She says, I put bacon, grease, and cheese in that one. You can have it.
For me?
And she nods.
On return?
So you're just going to hang out in the room and continue making small talk with Gunder, or is there anything else specifically you want to push at this point?
Well, I wanted to ask, is there anything that I can do for you in return for this lovely biscuit?
She thinks for a moment, but she shakes her head no. And you kind of get the sense that she doesn't understand what you're asking.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, okay, then I'll just hang out here with Gunder. Keep making small talk.
Do you eat the biscuit?
Sure.
It is rock hard.
Polite.
This thing was baked a week ago, if it was baked at all. But, I mean, you're a Tiefling. You can get it down.
I've got sharp teeth.
Eventually, mealtime rolls around.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Riot go at mealtime? Back with her companions?
Back with the rest of the group.
And a meal is served at all the tables. Some sort of soup, more like a broth that has the leafy tops of carrots in it. What looks like pond water. A decanter is brought out to each table. And like clockwork, the rest of the patrons of the inn come down. Middlebob's table remains occupied. At this table over here, make sure I get their races right and everything. A pair of male humans come down the stairs and sit at that table near to the door. They're wearing monk's robes as they sit down and begin to eat. And then another man comes down the stairs and goes into this room here. And this clearly is the Tiefling that Earthwolf mentioned. He's got a bright red face. The skin on his face is bright red, but it cools into a more like autumn brown color as it goes down his neck. And he's wearing all black, and he's wearing a cloak with a pin on it. And the pin has the sigil of the Dustman. And he takes his meal in this room here, but he looks curiously at the newcomers before going in. And after everybody takes their meal, you see Gunder coming out with a tray that has a bowl and a decanter of water on it, and she takes it up the stairs. Earthwolf does not come back down to the common room for dinner.
So, right, did you get us kicked out yet?
I certainly hope not.
Ole Estralandese, the crashing wave, and Serenity is just pointing at El Ciclon.
Well, Ciclon's got his hands in his head, and his face in his hands.
Maybe
Don't
you
like
should
it?
just keep being Elsione. Might be simpler.
I guess he doesn't like it. Sure.
Does anybody purchase any
Maybe-
extra food at the meal?
No, bro.
Oh, Kelian totally will.
No, I'm fine.
Kelian does?
Nope.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and I will tell all you guys that the gnomes are selling alcohol.
Is it good?
I haven't tried any. It's 3 gold for a cup, and I think 2 gold for a drink, or you can bring your own cup. It's still 2 gold.
I don't know if I trust a bar that charges the cup.
So what does Kelian buy extra to eat?
All of the upgrades.
All of
Whatever
them?
they are.
Wow.
What?
That comes to 21 silver.
Done.
So you're brought a small plate of chopped vegetables. They look like radishes and cabbage. And they only look mostly fresh. The cabbage is slightly wilted. A mug of ale that's been heavily watered down. A glass of wine that when you drink it goes immediately to your head. This wine is exceedingly dry and feels very alcoholic. Feels nice and warm going down your throat. And a wedge of white cheese with bluish and greenish spots on it that has a very heavy smell to it.
Kelian shrugs. Enjoys every moment of it.
Okay.
Also, he will take this time to distribute the gold from... What's his name? Pascal.
Okay.
Everyone gets 8 gold.
Okay.
So.
Right to the money again now.
Should anyone feel like also upgrading their meal.
Stez is
Not
the
so
one
much.
that brings out your extra food for you. You flagged him down, tell you you'd like to order off the menu. He accepts your money and brings out the platter of extra food. He looks around, says, "See, some of you have injuries. I could take care of those."
How much?
Let's see.
Ciclon has the most overt wounds, and he looks at him.
Yeah.
Says, "I have a spell that stitches wounds together. I ask a donation of 12 gold in service to the Cabal."
I'll look at the 8 coins that Kelian just finished handing me and just roll my eyes.
Says, "If nothing else, the night's sleep may do you good."
Odd.
Kelian puts an additional of his 4 gold on the table, looking at Ciclon.
You put 12 gold on the table?
Mahogany's jaw drops.
Yeah, Ciclon cocks an eyebrow at that.
Oh, he hasn't lifted his hand off it yet.
Oh no! I mean, even that gesture has got Ciclon on fucking guard there.
Mahogany claps his hands together. What's the cost?
Just say the magic word.
I'll point
Interest?
I was about to crack a small joke. Point at the rat man and say, "I thought he said no magic allowed in here."
You're being smart with me.
Not at all.
Says, "The services are available if you should need them. I'll leave you to your meal."
All right.
And
Very
you actually,
Ciclone. I can't believe you would do that.
he doesn't walk into the
call
back
to
room.
Stez.
He goes. You call back to him.
Oh yeah.
Right? He turns around and comes back.
Who is that? Who was the dustman who went in that room there?
So I only know his name. I don't ask more than that. He's called Engraved.
What's engraved? All right, thanks.
He doesn't go back into the kitchen. He actually goes over to the 2 monks sitting at this J table over here, and has a few words with them, very silently. You can't over here.
Kelian puts the 4 gold away. Shit-eating grin on his face.
Right. Puts suggests at the table. Anyone else want to go talk to Olin Grave to see if he knows what...
Seems like a good idea. I'll come with you.
Sure.
Okay. Is this after you finish your meal or during the meal?
After we finish.
Okay.
Definitely gotta eat.
So everybody there, he's in this room over here. He's eating alone.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody who's going to go speak with Engrave, go ahead and move yourselves over here. We'll have this conversation. So
I figure Kilian's eating, so.
well, Kelian has more food than everybody else. Did he share his food?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Absolutely.
No one
not.
asked.
Of course not.
No one asked.
Why would we?
Why the fuck would we?
So Riot, you open the door to this small room, and Engraved looks up from his meal, and you see that he's also purchased a wedge of cheese and a glass of wine. And he sees you come in. And not welcomingly, but not off-puttingly either, he says, I expected to take my meal alone, but sit down if you like.
I said, that's generous of you. Didn't want to,
Didn't want to what?
Cut out there, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Sorry. I said that's generous of you. We didn't want to intrude.
He nods. He says, I only ask that you close the door when you come in. Can't stand the chattering of those little people.
Close the door behind me.
And as he's eating his meal, you see his hands. And he has extremely long fingers that have extra knuckles on all of them. So, I am Engraved. I would know your names.
Right.
He's still Mahogany. Are you still going by Ciclon?
For now. I haven't thought of anything better yet.
Riot says, I couldn't help but notice the colors you wear.
By colors, you mean lack thereof, I'm sure. Yes, I am a dustman.
Do you go to and from go off looking yourself for a way back?
He says, it looks like he's about to reply, but then he claps shut again, and he looks down at the table and says, meaning no disrespect and no rudeness. I would speak of my faction no longer, not in this place, not after seeing that drop.
That's fine. We're mostly just looking for a way back.
To start any faction intrigue, we're mostly just homesick for Sigil itself.
As am I. What matter of misadventure brought you here?
Ciclon lets out a long
I'm
sigh,
right. We'll
chuckling
tell
sigh.
the story. She possibly can.
You get a look of agreement when you sigh long and deeply. So you tell the story, Riot. Like, do you give a summary or do you tell the whole story?
Tell the whole story and else as much as I can.
Okay. So this story, from start to finish, probably takes a good 30 or 40 minutes. During which time, he finishes eating his meal. And at one point, one of the gnomes pokes his head into the door, just to let you all know that they're selling beer.
Shake my head.
But that's the only interruption to the story. Engraved seems very interested in the story from start to finish. And at the end of it, he says, I believe every word, except the part where you came here on purpose.
Right.
Ciclon starts to grumble a little bit, but doesn't say anything specific.
Grumble cakes. He says, well, I traveled here with 5 of my companions. Not here, but we were on our way to a mausoleum in the abyss. We had taken all precautions. We felt the trip would be safe, short, and bountiful.
And then things went south.
So unfortunately, one leg of our journey took us along the Styx, and there was a freak storm. I was separated from my companions. Somehow I woke up here with my memories intact.
Well, you're fortunate in that regard, I guess.
It would be more fortunate if I had been killed. He looks around the table. Says, if you like, I will write your epitaphs while you're here.
You mean no offense, but I don't intend on dying here.
So, Elsie Clone has no intention of dying, but Riot's interested in the epitaph.
Yeah.
What would you rate them on?
Riot also has no interest in dying, but figures if she is going to die, people might as well be told about it.
Looks at Mahogany and says, stone is my preference, but there's a lack of it inside the hearth, and I'm not going back outdoors. I also believe it would be ill-advised to write one's epitaph on Pandemonian stone. So he fishes out some parchment, and he says, for now, parchment would suffice. Turns to Riot and says, what is your native language, please?
What should I say here? So Riot knows common and abyss.
Okay. She's born in
trying to figure
Sigil,
out
so her
which
native
one of those
language
would
is
count as her
most
native
likely
language.
common, but I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say common then.
Okay. And he begins scrawling something out on the page. And after a few moments, he slides it over to you, and he's drawn a headstone with calligraphy written on it with your name, the date of your death, and then a flowery epitaph, which is to your liking.
What's the date of his death?
Very close.
Yeah, what is the date?
None of you are terribly sure what the date actually is by Sigil reckoning because you haven't been in Sigil for a couple of days.
Right.
But you know when you left, it was the month of Amnesius, and it was the 21st, going into the 22nd.
Yes.
So the date is probably reads the...
Yep.
Actually, let me make a roll real quick. No, he's a month off. He puts your death in Quintember, which is a month from now. Which indicates to you that he's been in Pandemonium for some time and has lost track of the days.
A month surviving alone in Pandemonium. That's pretty optimistic for a dustman.
Oh, he says, well, I haven't been outside for a month. Obviously, as soon as I saw the door of the hearth, I came inside and haven't went back since. I've been hoping that some of my companions would catch up with me here. And you're not the first to observe that I am too optimistic to be a dustman. I admit it's my moral failing.
Well, slavishly following the letter of one's faction, I see it as short-sighted, close-minded.
And at that, he holds up his hand and says, forgive me, I spoke out of turn. We should not bring this
Sorry,
topic up again.
Sorry.
But that cut out. I was just...
Oh, Elsie Clone had said something about adhering blindly to faction philosophy, to which he held up his hand and said, "I spoke out of turn. We shouldn't reach that topic again." And then he quickly changes the subject.
What was the date that he wrote on the tab?
Quintember 8th. That's
Okay.
about 4 weeks from now.
That second part was maybe more important.
All right, yeah, Riot pockets the that.
Okay. Says, in truth, even inside these walls, I stay here in fear of inadvertently breaking one of the Mouse Man's rules.
Shake my head. He just seems like just a fellow who doesn't want any trouble. I can respect that.
That's my impression as well, but it's hard to say. I haven't seen anybody thrown into the drop since I've arrived. I don't know how frequently it happens.
Well, hopefully we won't be here long enough to see it happen. So,
Riot,
Mm-hmm.
reading the poem on your headstone, you could definitely tell that he's had some bardic training.
Mhm.
He's definitely a skilled writer of some kind.
Okay.
So what else are we looking to learn from Engraved while you're in here?
Do we know? Did he tell us how long he's been here?
No, nobody's asked yet. Actually, he would have when he told you the story. He would
Yeah,
have.
I'll ask how long he's been here.
He said they set out about a month ago, but since he arrived at the Hearth, he's lost track of how many meals have been served, and there's no other way to mark the days. So he says probably 3 weeks, thereabouts.
so would it be a breach of protocol to ask about?
I'll also
fellow
ask
point-
him.
Ciclon, go ahead.
I was about to ask. Would it be a breach of policy to inquire as to the fellow who pointed us in this direction? Large frogman.
You're asking him if it would be a breach of policy to ask about the Frogman?
Yeah.
And
Why'd he get kicked out?
so I think I remember him, the large slod, the blue one. He wasn't thrown into the drop, he was denied entry at the front door. I think Stez just mistrusts his kind. Says you don't know the slod.
Shake my head.
That's odd, are you not
We
from
met him.
Limbo?
We met in passing.
Well, I was there as a child and haven't been back since.
Says, well, the slod are the giant frog demons that come from Limbo. Says they're not evil, but they are unpredictable and they can be violent. Might explain why Stez does not want them inside.
This one didn't seem too violent.
If a bit chaotic.
It's in their nature, I suppose, being from where they are. I admit, with some shame, that I was relieved to see him turned away. Have any of you been approached by the elf woman since you came here?
Look around.
Ahead. I'm not sure who you took.
I
What elf
think I
woman?
saw him talking to Kelian. I think I saw an elf woman talking to Kelian.
You all very clearly
Yeah.
saw her talking to Kelian.
I also brought it up.
Yeah, that's the one Kelian said was crazy. This is in character.
He says, the day that I came here...
Oh. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
The day that I came here, she approached me, asked me to protect her from a group of planewalkers that are no longer here. They left some time ago. I told her I didn't think I would be able to, and she became angry. She said she would see the end of me, one way or another. I don't think the inside of these walls are any safer than the outside.
Then why don't you leave?
Riot says
I wouldn't know where to
didn't pick
go.
up on that.
He responds to Mahogany. Riot says, what?
I'm surprised you didn't take her up on that. The end of you, I mean.
And he just clams up and doesn't respond. But you see him noticeably turn his attention away from you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you know the road back to Sigil?
That's what we're here. That's what we came here looking for.
Says, in truth, I was seeking...
Does Des know?
He must, but he hasn't told me. I know that supplies come in and out. They must come from the gatehouse. But he hasn't shared the information with me. My plan was to wait for the gnomes, Middlebob and them, to be ready to leave. See if I could buy passage with them. I believe they know the road.
Safety in numbers, I would say.
So what other topics do you raise with Engraved while you're in here?
Interesting name, Engraved. How did you come by it?
It's my work. I work with stone. And he, as he says that, he motions to the headstone he drew for Riot.
Matter of fact.
Shouldn't that be Engraver then?
Well, that's what I do, not what I am. And he looks kind of sorrowful for a moment. I would love to talk more about this at length, but I fear if Stez overhears, he will take it as a breach of his rules.
And Riot grinned and said, I'm glad we got to talk about it this much.
So what's next with Engraved?
Riot would just thank him for his time, and leave him to what's left of his food.
Okay, well, he's finished his meal during your story. He seemed to very much appreciate the story, though, while you told it.
And she's gonna... Two.
Hey, what about Mahogany and Ciclon sitting there and just shoot the shit with Engraved for a little while?
No, to be honest, he seems kind of boring. I'm gonna leave.
I'll bid him good night and throw my group out here.
Okay. So what were Kelian and Serenity doing during that time?
He finished his meal. Not much. He's not looking to stir up shit while he's here.
Okay.
He just wants to get a rest, get out, and go home.
Yeah.
Same for Serenity?
Yeah, Serenity's done with this place.
After the meal, Stez comes to your table. He's got a ring of keys in his hand. He says he'll show you upstairs to your rooms.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
At which point I need to go back to Immiger.
How do you like Immiger?
It's alright. Can't complain.
Well, you could.
We believe in you.
We believe in you who believes in us.
So, the layout of the upstairs is
A mess?
a mess, to say the least. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta get Photoshop open here so I know where everybody's
Wow.
sleeping.
This is a
This
mess.
looks like the upstairs of a building in Pandemonium.
Pandemonium, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too.
I like this room, which is surrounded by like beds with no way of getting here.
Like, you have to go through this bedroom to get to any of these bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
Good times. Bear with me just 1 second, guys. I don't remember where I saved this. Hopefully Photoshop's open recent knows where it is. Oh, it does. Look at that. What a bro. Thank God for open recent.
What a dude, bro.
I have like 6 folders across 3 computers saved as D&D documents. I never remember where I save anything.
I like this is just a room.
Just like a little closet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the walk-in closet.
That's where the Warforged stay when they come.
Mahogany loses 1,000 experience for mentioning Warforged.
We don't talk about them.
We don't.
This looks like the deluxe closet.
Yeah, that's the that's the fashion suite.
Okay.
Look at that, a double bed.
Kelian,
Yes, sir.
you're down here.
Cool.
You know what we could do is we could make a little dot with our color so that way we could mark it ourselves.
Riot, you're in
Roots
here.
make- Okay.
Mahogany,
Yeah.
you're back here.
Okay.
We are all separated.
Serenity is
Surely
up here.
nothing is going
Oops.
to happen.
I'll knock on this door first. Who's in this room?
When you go to knock on the door, stops you. It says, if there was a guest inside, that would be a disturbance. You understand?
How do I get to my room then?
Very quietly.
Oh, I can do that.
And he puts you up back here.
Well, you'd have to cast Pass Without Trace to do that.
And Ciclon is right here.
Oh, so I'm right across the hall from.
Nothing is going to go wrong tonight at
Right.
all, I'm sure.
El Nino, the little one.
So, is it
Ciclon
everybody's
is not very
intention at this
little.
point to retire for the evening?
It's ironic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right up. Which is that this room has no outside exit. It leads to the closet and nothing else.
That's the room for wizards. There's a teleportation circle right here.
Alright, I'm going to take 2 minutes so I can run to the fridge and I get to drink a Pepsi for the rest of the session. Everybody who's going to sleep... Actually, I can't say for certain you guys get a long rest. Somebody has to roll a d4. Oh, you know what? No, we're not
I'll
at
roll
Death
it.
Thing. We're at Gale. You're fine. Go ahead and roll it, though.
I'll roll it.
To see what the winds do. Oh, now they're a hurricane again. Good job. So
Yeah, no
everybody
problem.
gets the benefit of the long rest. So you can refill
Alright.
your hit points, regain half your hit dice, recharge your stuff. I'm going to take 2 minutes so I can run to the fridge. I will be right back, guys.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I didn't want to interrupt, but no, if I was El Nino, then I would be thinking of Chris Farley
I'll
and
be right
Saturday
back.
Night Live. El Nino is Spanish for the Nino.
El Infierno, the Inferno.
Sorry, I don't like fire too much.
No fire, no earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about water?
We already tried the crashing wave. You didn't like it.
Man, what do you like?
I don't know, just something easy, simple to remember.
Kelian.
So no air because you don't like the cyclone, right?
No.
So we're pretty much stuck with water at this point.
Water's pretty good. I like water.
Good.
How about the hurricane?
How about the weird one with the mask? That way, when people ask us who's the weird one with the mask. How about the ball breaker?
That wouldn't be right.
That one's up for grabs.
What about
I
El
see what you did there,
Tsunami?
Riot.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't so lagged.
Well, my loving wife drank the last of the cold Pepsis because she doesn't have doctor's order to stop drinking soda, so I had to put some more in the fridge.
She clearly can't love you that much.
Right?
I think it's divorce time, Berkerin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about El Pepsi?
Kelian.
Alright, I'm back.
Oh, is everybody back? I didn't know who got up and left.
I don't know who left either.
No, I'm still here.
I'm
I'm
still
back,
here.
so.
I think that's everybody.
I don't
If
think,
Nodal's here?
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone left.
All right, yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, Elsie Clone.
Just Butt Road left.
You hear noise. Just slight noises, like somebody opening a door and going inside and getting ready for bed, coming from this room. This room here is occupied. Serenity, you hear similar noises from this room here.
Mhm.
It sounds like two people are staying there.
Okay.
See if anybody else hears anything. Riot.
How thick are the walls?
Paper thin. So if you were to shout or even kind of talk loudly, anybody in a surrounding room could hear you. And that's how you know that this room is occupied here. Because you hear somebody in that room making quite a loud racket in comparison to the background ambience of this place, doffing armor. Mahogany.
Yep.
Both this room and this room are occupied.
Alright.
Kelian. You actually hear a gentle rap on your door about 2 hours after you retire for the night.
Kelian ignores it.
Ignores it.
Yeah.
You hear it again a few seconds later.
Kelian ignores it again.
Then after a few moments, you hear a shuffling down at the crack underneath the door, and a pale, dried leaf is being pushed underneath it.
It's probably just mahogany.
Surely.
Just ignore it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kelian wants his sleep, man. He wants it so badly.
Mahogany. About 2 hours after you lay down for the night, you hear a very slight rap at your door.
Well, I mean, mahogany's used to this. This isn't anything different from what he usually gets. So he'll open it up and it'll just be Kelian. What is it?
And it's the elf lady standing there. She looks terrified. And she says, barely above a whisper, "I need help. I don't know who to turn to."
I just got here.
She says, "The Aasimar you traveled with, he said he'd protect me, but now he doesn't open his door. I need help. Can you give me assistance? I have gold. I can pay you very well. Oh, by the way, Kelian, you have 4 blankets."
Okay.
I imagine he pulled all of them up as soon as he heard the knocking.
Yeah. That is exactly what happened.
He balled one.
I bet-
He balled both of them up and stuffed them in his ears.
I bet if you knock one more time and then slip a gold underneath the door, he'll open up.
She said, I do not trust him. I think he means to kill me. I think he lied earlier. He said he would protect me, but now he does not answer my calls. Can you help me?
What is it?
She comes into the room and closes the door behind her. She says, I've made a poison. Something I believe can take care of the Tieflings. I was hoping your companion would help me administer it, but he does not answer the door now.
Okay, where is it?
She produces this tiny pouch filled with crushed herbs and spices and who knows what else.
I would know what else. I'm a druid. What's in there?
Make a nature check.
Clearly, you don't know that much.
3.
To your nose, it smells very acrid. But you're
Alright.
not able to identify what's in there. You're not proficient in a poisoner's kit, are you?
No.
Okay.
Herbalism kit.
It's outside of your wheelhouse then.
Alright,
But the mixture smells very acrid. Burns your nose a little bit.
Alright.
She says, the smell is very strong now. I don't want to hold on to it for very long for fear that they'll suspect something. But when brewed into a tea, the smell and taste disappear. It is very potent. It'll put them to sleep for a long time. But I'll need your help
Is that it?
tomorrow at the meal, when the meal is served, to see that the Tieflings drink.
Okay. Sounds good.
So what shall you do to help me?
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I've never killed anyone before.
Wait a second. I thought you said put them to sleep.
In this dosage, I believe the sleep will be eternal. But it's not been tested. I can only hope that I'm right. Do you not fear the Tiefling you travel with?
She seems alright.
But you will help me.
She mostly just plays really loud music.
And when you say that, she looks even more horrified. Do you think she means to play it here tonight? Is she
I
going
think
to
they
cause
stole
trouble?
her guitar.
They stole her guitar.
Yeah.
In any case, she hands you the pouch. So you'll have to sneak into the kitchen when Gunder's not there. Brew the tea. Make sure that it's served tomorrow to the Tieflings only at the meal. Can you help me? Will you do this?
Sure, yes.
And do you take the pouch?
Yeah.
And do what with it?
I'll just put it aside.
Okay. She seems suspicious as you do, but she doesn't say anything else. She just thanks you and then spirits her way out of the room.
I need to start buying locks.
Oh, all the doors have locks. They have inside locks that can be opened from the outside by Stez's key. So he locked you all into your rooms, but you can unlock the door from the inside.
Okay.
So everybody gets the long rest.
Woo.
That's half your hit dice?
Yes, at the long rest you regain half of your hit dice.
And
Round
all
up,
hit
round
points,
down?
or do you have to spend?
No, you regain all hit points.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Round up or round down?
Always round down.
Okay.
Once she wakes up, Riot wants to go and quietly see who is in this room.
So let me ask then, when does Riot wake up? Do you make it a point to try to rise before anybody else does?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Mahogany does as well.
Riot, you wake up. You feel very rested. Although the winds outside are just buffeting the walls of this place. From your position, you hear it very faintly because the north and south walls are encased in stone. But the east and west walls have doors, and you can hear just the winds crashing against it repeatedly. And from inside of your room, before you even get out of your bed, you hear the loud just sawing, snoring, coming from that room.
I'll test the door, see if it's open.
It's locked. It is not open.
Did I cut out there?
You said you
No.
tested the door to see if it was
Clarity.
open, and it's locked.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll knock on it once.
And no response from inside. The snoring does not subside even a bit.
Okay. I'll go find Kelian. Did we all know where each other were sleeping?
Yeah, I'll say you can if you want, because you could have followed Stez around. He was introducing everybody to their rooms, or you could have gone to your room immediately. It's up to you.
Well, I had already made. I probably would have
I'll
only
just
made
say
note of where
I know where
Serenity's
Kelian
crashed
is.
at.
Mahogany, where do you go?
Mahogany is had the same exact idea. That's why he woke up early,
Okay.
and he's bringing the herbs. And he's thinking to himself, finally, I get to wake someone else up.
Did Kelian lock his door?
Oh yeah.
Right, as you turn the corner to come down this hallway, you see Mahogany going to do what?
Go see Kelian.
But
He's not even hiding it all that much.
you're going to knock on the door?
I was mostly going to just attempt to open it first,
It's locked.
and then knock.
Okay. Kelian,
Yeah.
you've woken up by the sound of a knock at your door.
Kelian turns over again. A little frustrated. But since he's actually gotten some sleep now, after a few minutes, he'll go up and knock the door.
After a few minutes. All right.
Yeah.
So, Mahogany, you're kind of standing out there for 5 minutes with Riot standing behind you. It's a little awkward. But then you hear the door unlock. Kelian opens it up, and for some reason, he has way more blankets than you do.
It's not nice, is it, being woken up? It's not very nice.
Kelian is thinking about all the ways he can kill Mahogany right now.
Right, it's just trying to stifle a laugh.
Are you
And
the ones
Mahogany
knocking on my
will
door in the middle of the night?
push his way in the room.
Okay. Also,
Oh,
Kelian
did
has
you
a
have-
nice double bed for some
Yeah,
reason.
that's kind of impressive. Why does he have a double bed?
Right, it says, oh,
I
someone's
have a
knocking
double
your
bed.
door. Do you have an admirer?
What is it?
I know who was knocking at your door. It turns out you have an admirer, Riot. You know that crazy elf that you were telling us about, Kelian?
Oh?
Mm.
She wants to poison Riot.
What?
I know, right? And she hasn't even heard you play yet.
Well, I think we can soon fix that.
And I'll take it out and I'll say, now,
Got a
I
choice
don't
song
know
or
if she
two
had
for
to go
her.
through. Mahogany will say, I don't know how she got through the zone of truth or if this even is a weapon. Kelian, is this, like, you poison people, right?
I can.
Kelian, you have proficiency in
What's
the poisonous
this?
kit, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Very clearly, some kind of poison. It's not one you're immediately familiar with, but I'll let you make me an intelligence poisoner kit check to identify its effects.
I'm rolling 2 for some reason. I should probably only roll 1.
No, only roll 1.
Yeah. Ooh. 17 plus proficiency is 21.
21. How do you examine it?
Well, it's in a little bag, right?
Yeah, it's in like a little leather pouch, like a little bit smaller than a typical size coin pouch.
I open it up. I sniff it first, and then I put a little bit on my hand.
On your hand? It's been ground very, very finely, like white sand. The smell of it, though, like I said, very acrid, and it's a sleeping poison. Actually, in its most common use, it's used as a sleeping aid for people with insomnia. But in its more potent form, the sleep lasts for a large amount of time. In your line of work, you would slip this into someone on like a guard patrol with a kind of a delayed effect on it. So they would fall asleep in a particular place that would let you sneak by them. In the potency that you're smelling here, though, you think it could be very dangerous, if not fatal.
Alright. I will let Mahogany know it now. All of that information. It seems very deadly to me. There's a lot in here. More than any one person would normally use.
I'm curious how she got it here. We all got interrogated.
Doing quite a few favors that the rest of us don't. Did you see them carrying her food up to her room last night?
Yeah. My concern is that if we bring this up to what's his name? I've already forgotten it. If we bring this up to the keeper, that he's going to blame us and throw us out. So
He likes
I don't know
his
what to
rules.
do. Yeah.
In my experience, people who like their rules that much tend to not let them apply to them and their friends.
So I don't know what we do.
No.
I mean,
that I can't even sing a simple song while this Bat's elven lady is allowed to pack it with poison.
I mean, I know
What if
what I
this
would
isn't
do,
all-
but
She had.
I say we just leave. It's not our business. She wants to poison all the people she wants. Let's do it when we're not here.
Well, she hires while we're here. Put this in my food and Riot's getting kind of heated and kind
I mean, I know what I
Right,
would do.
at this point.
Right, there's only one poisoner in this inn, and she's in this room.
Exactly. It would be almost humane to put it in her drink, but I am not one to rock the boat, and I respect this man's business he's got running
You're
here.
not one to murder people? I don't know about that.
In the context of his business, yeah. I respect his business. But at the same time,
Well, going to tell this. Care about. But I wasn't one.
I didn't get that.
Give me that poison.
That last
yeah, Nick, you're breaking up a little
You're
bit. Nick.
breaking up really bad.
Sorry about that. So bad this week. I say I'm going to go tell Des. Give me that poison.